Hello everyone, today I will explain 5 technical questions from HCIA-Datacom. First, let's look at the first question. The first question is about spanning trees and it asks us about these 3 devices. Among the following options, which one is correct? It says this. Among these 3 devices, there needs to be an election for the root bridge and the designated port needs to be selected. Which one is the designated port? So regarding this designation, let's first look at these 3 devices and select the root bridge first. Now, what is the basis for the election of the root bridge? It's this. Bridge ID. The bridge ID consists of 2 parts. One is its priority, and the other is its MAC address. The device's MAC address. So if the priority can't determine the winner, we compare the MAC address. The MAC address is globally unique, so it will definitely be different, right? Now let's look at their priorities. 32,763, 32,768, and 32,768. So this one is smaller, right? So the smallest one is the best, so it is selected as the root bridge. So with SW1 as the root bridge, both of its ports are designated ports. Both can forward traffic outward, right? So the correct answer, it says one correct answer is A, another correct answer is B. Then port 3 on SW1, it says it's a DP port, so this option is correct. Right? As for the second option, option B, it says that port 0 to 1 on B is a DP port. Why is this port a DP port? It's because now with these 2 DP ports, I can send BPDUs outward from both. BPDUs, right? This side can also send them. But as for these 2 ports, they can't send them out, right? Because their BPDU is not as strong as the other side's. Right? So these 2 ports that can receive are called RP or root ports. These are also in the forwarding state. So what's left is the comparison between these 2 ports, right? When comparing the 2, the first thing to compare is something. Compare who the root is. Let's compare who the actual root is, right? They both inherently possess the very same root, so there is absolutely no significant difference there. The second crucial thing they meticulously compare is this particular aspect. That is specifically the overall root path cost.
Let's pause for a short announcement. Friends, if you're currently preparing for this ITification exam, or if you've been studying for a while but don't feel your preparation is very efficient, this is something you shouldn't miss. Our team has been focused on its certification dumps for 16 years, doing one thing consistently, organizing the most up-to-date, most exam accurate, and easiest to use dumps to help candidates pass their exams more efficiently. Our dumps closely follow official exam updates. They are stable, highly accurate, and well aligned with real exam questions, allowing you to prepare with more confidence while spending less time. If you'd like to get the dumps for this exam and pass the certification faster, you can contact us directly via WhatsApp or YouTube private messages. We're happy to explain the latest update dates, dump stability, exam policies in different countries, as well as any current purchase discounts. Everything is clear and transparent before you decide. We also place great importance on payment security and privacy protection. The entire purchasing process is simple and secure, with no unnecessary data collection. Your personal information and privacy are fully protected. In addition, we provide 24/7 consultation and after-sales support. Whether you're just getting started or running into issues right before the exam, our support team will patiently and professionally help you analyze and solve problems. You're never preparing alone. Beyond this specific exam, our dumps cover almost all major IT certification tracks. If you plan to pursue other IT certifications in the future, feel free to reach out anytime. We'll give recommendations based on your goals.
What is the root path cost? But comparing this RPC, the root path cost still doesn't distinguish them. Their distance to the root is the same, right? So that doesn't work either. Now the third item is to compare their own bridge IDs. Bridge ID. So for B, when it forwards the BPDU, and the BPDU forwarded by C also contains this attribute, right? But even with this attribute, you still can't distinguish them. So the third item is to compare their own BID. At this point, you can finally tell them apart. When our priorities are the same, we compare the MAC address, right? The MAC address, this one is CC, and that one is BB. right? This is a hexadecimal number, and when you convert it to binary, it's smaller. So its interface is the one that stays open as the designated port. It can send BPDUs in this direction, so this interface gets blocked, right? So the correct answer is B and C, or A and B, right? No problem, right? Okay, that's the first question. Now the second question. The second question is about the VLAN interface. It asks, when receiving data, what is used to determine whether to switch at layer 2 directly or to forward at layer 3? The correct answer is B, right? It's determined by the destination MAC address. Right? If the destination MAC is the same as the MAC of this VLAN interface, then it's layer 3 forwarding, correct? That means the gateway will handle it. But if it's not, then it's layer 2 forwarding, and the data is sent directly to the device on the other side. So the correct answer is B. All right, the third question gives a table, and this table represents the MAC address table. That's the question. The question is, which of the following statements are correct? It asks which of the following statements are correct. Then this table records a few things. A static MAC, right? The switch learns a static one, which means it's manually configured by the administrator. Right? The administrator manually entered it. The other two are dynamically learned MAC addresses, correct? So there are 3 MAC addresses here. The correct answer is to choose the description in option A. Now, why do we choose A? A says that the original MAC, my original bug, 54,899,885. This is Huawei's OUI. Right? Then this 548,999,885, and then 18A8. And then the destination MAC is these two things, these 2 MACs. He says these two. These 2 frames will go out through the 0 to 1 interface. Right? They'll be sent out through the 0-1 interface. He says these 2 will go from 0 to 1, right? That's it. Right? And then because the destination MAC is, what is it? It's this 30. The destination MAC is 30, and in this table, it corresponds to the 0-1 interface. Right? When the switch looks up the table, it will send it to this thing. So the correct answer to this question is A. We won't look at the other wrong options. All right, now for question 4. Question 4, this one goes across rows. Question 4 is about load balancing. Regarding manual load balancing on aggregated links, which statement is correct? Then this is, for Huawei, this aggregation is not auto-negotiated, so it doesn't send LACP. This thing doesn't send LACP PDUs, which are protocol data units, basically packets. Protocol data unit just means packet, right? Then manual bundling means bundling multiple physical interfaces into a single logical interface. That's what this refers to. So the correct answer here, the correct description is B. Why is it B? Because in manual load balancing mode, you can set the number of active interfaces. This is incorrect. Right? Only LACP allows you to set this parameter, correct? You can't set it manually. So in manual mode, all member interfaces will forward traffic. So when it asks which one, which description, which one is correct? Oh, I just misspoke. This AA option is incorrect. The A option is incorrect. It says that in manual mode, you can set the number of active interfaces. Active interfaces, for example, like this A, BC, between A and B, there are a lot of lines connected. If we use manual aggregation mode, it says you can set these 2 as active. And what about these 2? These are standby, right? But this doesn't work. Manual mode doesn't allow this, so option A is incorrect, right? Then option B is correct. Option B says that manual mode load balances across all active interfaces. All of them forward data, and they all share the load, right? So this is correct, which is the opposite of option A. A is wrong, so this one is right, and both C and D are incorrect. So the correct answer for this question is B. Choose B. All right, question 5. Question 5 is about ACL, access control lists. Right? The rules in an access control list might overlap, correct? So what does it mean for the rules to overlap when it comes to data packets? For example, let's say we wrote a rule first. This rule has a sequence number, this step size. For each rule, for example, if you add another one, and if you don't manually specify the sequence number, the next one will be 10. In Huawei devices, it's 10. In other vendors, it might be the first rule is 10, the second is 20, and so on. Then the third rule, 15. The step size between them is 5, right? The step size is 5, and the content you write might overlap. For example, here you write a rule to allow people who are 35 years old. Pass, right? Permit. And here you write within this age group. So people are not allowed to pass, right? When it's above 35 years old, some of the content will overlap. When there's overlap, it's the latter one that counts. That is, if the data packet first matches a more lenient rule, like the first rule. This rule is more lenient. Let's assume, for example, the first rule, this one. As long as it's this one. It's written in a more lenient way, and the following rule is written more strictly. Then it won't check the rule that comes after. Right? Whether the first rule is lenient or not, as long as I match the first one, I won't check the ones after it. So they say the stricter rule should be placed in front, and the more lenient one should go after. So this is a true or false question. Are they right or wrong to do it this way? So they say this is also wrong. This answer, they say option B is wrong because this ACL, when it matches, it only matches the input. It's just about the matching order. It doesn't matter whether it's strict or not. Right? Let's say I have a person here. Right? I have this people, right? And then below, I write a stricter rule for this person. And then a person who is 18 years old and then must have long legs, right? Someone who is good looking. So this one is very strict, and this one is more relaxed, right? These things actually have nothing to do with the ACL. It's just sequential matching. That is to say, once the first one is matched, I won't check the ones below anymore. Do you get it? So for this question, the correct answer is to choose the broad one because its description is wrong. It says we should take this, putting the strict one in front. There really isn't that much to it, right? It doesn't matter. As long as it can be matched, that's enough. All right, if you want to learn more about Huawei's communication technology, please send me a private message. You can also leave a comment below the video to discuss technical topics.